Hi folks, we're now cruising at 16,500 feet, VFR over Arizona here on Thanksgiving week 2017 in November 3190 Sierra, 1988 C90A. I want to discuss the fuel system, especially auto crossfeed. You notice the crossfeed switch in the closed position. That's what I strongly recommend, but that goes against what the POH teaches you to do. Should be an automatic. There's an article on the King Air Academy website by me called the C90 Crossfeed Trap. If you haven't read that already, please do so. I'm going to put it in automatic, like most people would be running it. And when a boost failure occurs, let's watch what happens. I'm going to fail, quote unquote, the boost pump by simply turning it off. So I'm going to reach here and turn off that boost pump. And now as I look at the annunciator panel, I see two things. One is the big red flasher. Now that's odd because that's supposed to be triggered by red lights, and yet all I see is a yellow fuel crossfeed light. Wonder why that happened. Well, unfortunately, too many people through the years in straight A90s, B90s, C90, King Airs, that fuel system, have had this event of a boost pump failure. A crossfeed light appears. And maybe because of that being yellow, they haven't gotten out a checklist and followed the proper procedure, which is very simple to do. But right now, with this right boost pump off, our left boost pump is supplying fuel to both sides. It's taking fuel out of the left nacelle tank and sending it to its own engine and sending it over to where it can be picked up by the high pressure pump on the other side. So right now, the fuel quantity on the right side is useless. It's just sitting there doing nothing. And the left side is going down twice as fast as it was before because we're feeding both engines. Well, unless we conscientiously, every 15-30 minutes, take a look, we might not notice that that side's going down, this side is not. And if we fly long enough for that to totally go empty, we're going to flame out both engines simultaneously. Not a fun thing to happen. And folks, that has happened to more than one of these airplanes where people simply asleep at the switch didn't realize the impact of this boost pump failure and the fact that one side's tank was feeding both engines, lost both engines. Now, a little better scenario, and one that's happened more often, is that finally they do notice, oh my goodness, one side is much lower than the other. Then out comes the checklist. What it says to do is close the crossfeed to see which side has no pressure. So I'm going to close this, and we should get the fuel pressure light on the right side. Sure enough, we do. So now I know that that's the pump that quit. I'll put the crossfeed back to auto, as the checklist tells us. Now we decide. If there's enough fuel on this side to totally complete the flight with no worries about extras, then fine. We'll just keep going like we're doing. We're preventing cavitations of both sides high pressure pumps. No need to record that 10-hour limit of cavitation, so we're fine. But if I've let this go down so low that there's not enough fuel to safely make it, then what I need to do is keep that crossfeed switch closed. Now, we do record time towards our 10-hour cavitation limit with that fuel pressure light on. But now, the right side's fuel is being used by the right engine via suction lift. No boost pump. The engine pump is sucking it out. As you can see, the engine runs absolutely fine. Excuse me. No change in engine performance. No way at all to know that that high pressure pump is now possibly cavitating because the engine runs absolutely like a champ, but we are now supposedly hurting the high pressure pump and have a whopping 10 hours to get that repaired, get the boost pump fixed. We cannot depart with the boost pump out, by the way. We can only lose one in flight and then get it fixed when we land. So the left side is normal operation, feeding itself, no cavitation. Right side, suction lifting. But the good news is now that both sides are coming down together, all of our fuel is still usable. Well, why don't we simply start on our normal flight with that first part of the checklist already done? Just have the switch closed. So now a couple things. If we lose the boost pump, this time I'll turn off the left one, it's going to be real obvious what triggered that red fault warning flasher to flash. Fuel pressure. Before, the light had blinked on and off so fast we never even saw the light appear. But now I know, hey, I've lost my left boost pump. We're now in that situation where the left engine is running great via suction lift, right engine running fine normally, but now the fuel is totally balanced. We haven't wasted time here getting an imbalance set up. We can now decide, is there enough fuel on one side alone to complete the fight safely? If there is, then I'll open the crossfeed, put out that light, start using, in this case, the right fuel to both engines, and eliminate the time being recorded towards that 10-hour limit. But if there is the barest shadow of a doubt in my mind that I may need to use this fuel, then I'll just leave this thing closed. Go along there, suction lifting fine. Now maybe after 30 minutes, an hour, I close enough to my destination, I know 100%, I can use just partial fuel. Again, I'll open the crossfeed and stop the clock for cavitation. But folks, I want you to see that the engine runs absolutely perfect without a boost pump. That's why I think this is not at all a dangerous thing to do, and I highly recommend it, where you decide whether you want to feed both engines with one fuel supply. Not let the automatic crossfeed do that for you. Once again, if you haven't read that article, Crossfeed Trap, please do so on the King Air Academy website. Thanks for watching. I'll turn the boost pump back on. And now we can stop the 5 minutes of cavitation time I have out of the 10-hour limit. Thanks for watching.